I believe it absolutely is a Colin Kaepernick Shedeur situation. I believe it absolutely
Then
is.
how do you believe that it's not? That what?
Because it is. The dilemma with Colin Kaepernick was not that he was not talented enough to be in the NFL. The dilemma with Colin Kaepernick is that he wasn't talented enough to be worth upsetting the decision makers of the NFL.
Right.
I'm not a decision maker. Shady not a decision maker. Furthermore, I'm black. So if I'm making a decision, it's probably going to air pro Shedeur, especially if you're talented, with all due respect. And pro Kaepernick, because I had no issue with what Colin Kaepernick was doing. But if your talent does not match your distraction, then they will not make room for you. If your distraction is greater than or equal to your talent, they will not make room for you. If Shedeur Sanders had Cam Newton talent, he would have been drafted number 1. So that's the only rub here. The only rub is if your talent don't match it, then they don't make room for you. What Shady say about Tyreek Hill? Tyreek Hill's so talented, I don't care about that off the field.
But can we stick to college though? Because with Kaepernick, we found out that he was good, but he wasn't good enough for all the distractions, right? If Tom Brady was taking these, everybody's going, okay, we still gonna use him.
Correct.
So let's get away from the NFL part. Let's go back to college though, because you keep talking about Shedeur and Cam. They're not in the same class. Cam was the number 1 pick overall for a reason. So let's go straight to college. In college, Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders was the most talked about 2, right?
Yeah.
So he was supposed to go first round at the worst.
Yeah.
That's my point. I don't care about how talented you are. You were good enough that we all thought you was going first round, number 1 or number 2 quarterback. And then out of nowhere, you go to 5th round and you tell me you don't think the NFL had nothing to do with that?
They obviously had something to do with it because they drafted. But here's what
that is crazy
Here's
to
what
me,
you're
yo.
telling. Hold on, because let me woosah quickly. Are you telling me Shedeur had nothing to do with that? Because I'll concede.
Yeah,
I will concede in the conversation.
I would say that. I would probably say that one thing he probably could have did better at, and then it's hard to even say he could have did better because when you think you're going so high, you got juice, you got power. You start saying, I don't want to do that at the combine. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do it. Everybody's doing it over the years. Has been doing it.
Yeah.
It's not like something that just happened. So I don't mind that part. Only thing is, once he's seen all the reports about how he was acting, he probably should take a step back.
Yeah.
Right? Because now I just want to get drafted. But he's not thinking that it's that big of a deal because I'm supposed to go top 1 or top 2. So, yes. I ain't going to say yes. I'm not going to, because I'm trying to think of a reason why it could have changed.
Then I can't.
But why are we changing, though? This is what I like that you do, though. Why do I got to change for anybody? Because I ain't going to say who. Why for anybody when my job is I play football, my swagger, my brand is what it is. Yep. I've never gotten no trouble with the law. I've never had no domestic violence. All I do that the crime you want to commit me for is I got swagger and I'm black and I talk a certain way. I'm not. That's his process. Only crime.
You don't have to change. You don't have to change.
Oh man.
I'm just saying it behooves you to temporarily fake out these people so you can get what you want out of them.
Why I gotta do that?
Because think about it, Shady.
I'm supposed to be a top 2 quarterback in the draft.
Have you ever met with the CEO or gone to a restaurant, whatever, and then all of a sudden you hang out with the person off the clock and you're like, wait, you have tattoos? And you didn't realize, they're covering up their tattoos while they're at work. In theory, why they gotta change? But certain situations and certain occupations dictate that you make yourself a certain type of presentable. I did not make the rules.
Yeah.
I did not make them.
Well,
we in certain occupations, we might not cuss. We might not say certain words. We might not do certain things because that's just the nature of the beast.
Can I be honest? And this is the God honest truth. I'm a flashy guy.
Yep.
I like big chains. I like all that. Right? You don't let me wear my big chain because you said it makes it the mic.
It's the mic.
When I was getting drafted, I was, I think, the 5th running back, 2nd round, something like that.
Yeah.
If I would have been Reggie Bush, right, and I went to USC and I did all that stuff he did, and I was number 1 or number 2 pick, I would have been myself. I would have had chains on, right? Because I'm a respectful dude, but I'm flashy.
Correct.
I would have chains on, I'd act a certain way. But going in the 2nd round, and I was late 1st round, early 2nd round. So I had to come in there and play this game for all these people and act like this and act like that. And yes, sir. But you know what? I felt so fake and phony. I needed to do it. You know why? Because my parents, we didn't have money like that.
Yeah.
Right? We wasn't poor, but we didn't have no big house like you do now. We have the new cars. We had none of that. The difference is Shedeur, they got all that.
Sure.
We got houses, we got cars, and I'm supposed to be the number 1 or number 2 quarterback in the draft. So I don't have to come in there and play puppet for y'all to make y'all happy and comfortable. I can be myself. That's the real truth.
But Shady,
That's the truth.
Oh my God.
That's the truth.
It's not.
It's the truth,
But
yo.
here's my thing, and this is the last thing I'm going to say, because obviously I don't want to spend the whole time on Shedeur here. Shedeur's not doing it for them. He's doing it for him. The man to my right, shout out to everything he accomplished. You retired as the 6th highest paid running back in the history of the National Football League with 15,000 total yards. So whatever the hell you did, it worked. And thus far, to this point, Shedeur Sanders fell into the 5th round where he shouldn't have, and he's a third-string quarterback behind Joe Flacco, who's not playing well, and Dylan Gabriel, who's not playing well. So whatever he's doing thus far hasn't worked. So all I'm saying is Shedeur wasn't doing it for him. Do it for you. Nobody wants to see Shedeur get drafted in the 5th round. Emmanuel Acho went in the 6th round to the Browns, and Shedeur's way better than me. So why are we near comparable as far as draft status into teams? Make that make sense.
You know
Make that make sense. So Shedeur wasn't even doing it for him. Do it for you. Do it for you. Kieran, you know this. All things are permissible, but not all things are profitable. You can do whatever the hell you want, Shedeur, but does it benefit you? Instead, you got Shady up in arms. You got a whole community up in arms because you went in the 5th round. I would have rather you just have gone in the 1st, and everybody could have saved their oxygen.
If he wasn't black, he'd have definitely won in the 1st round. If he wasn't a black man, he'd have been in the 1st round. You know that. You know that.
That's a
uncomfortable conversation.
That's the truth.
I'm inclined to agree with that. As well.
It's more
Also,
nuanced than that.
Come on, man.
It's more. I think it's more nuanced than that.
I think it is a nuanced conversation.
It's a nuanced conversation.
Look, I think it is a nuanced conversation. When we talked about Cam Newton's talent versus his, I believe they're the same level of confident in their abilities as quarterbacks.
Correct.
I think one had expectations given the name of his father, given the name or the eyes on his school. I think the other was someone that came out of nowhere. Did the country know who Cam Newton was when he was lighting it up at Blinn? Was anyone paying attention to that? Was anyone paying attention when he was Tim Tebow's backup at Florida? No, whenever he got to Auburn and became a superstar there, it was awesome. There wasn't the expectations and everything else that Deion Sanders and Coach Prime and Travis Hunter and all of these people, like all of the eyes in the world were on Deion or we're on Shedeur Sanders. And I think he was just as confident as a Cam Newton. And I think if you ask him, he's just as talented as a Cam Newton. If you ask him.
But that's the problem.
That's not a problem.
That
I don't
is
have a problem with my athletes being that confident.
No.
LaShawn, do you think you were as talented in college as Reggie Bush?
I was better.
Thank you.
Thank
you. But a college football fan would hear that and be like, nah, absolutely not.
No. If you asked me if I was better than Barry Sanders, I would say no. I would say no to Barry Sanders.
No, but I'm saying Reggie Bush, widely looked at as one of the greatest college football running backs ever. You would say, I'm confident I'm better than him.
But you have to know
and it
who
sounds
you
it
are.
might sound crazy. He knows who he is. He's confident he could be a starting quarterback right now.
But you just said you cannot think you are not as talented. You cannot believe that the world perceives you as the same talent level as Cam Newton if you're Shedeur. You can't.
I'm not gonna lie.
You can't. Now,
that's not the way he thinks.
You can be as confident as Cam Newton. I give you that.
Shedeur.
But you can't say, oh, they see me. I don't walk around thinking everybody sees me as Stephen A. Smith. That would be dumb.
Yeah.
Now, I can say, Acho, you're 35, he's 57. You got 22 years to go get him. Bet. I can say, Acho, you've done a lot for a 35-year-old. Bet. Yeah. I can say, Acho, you've outdone most 34-year-olds, on television. Bet. Yeah. But I'm not going to walk in a studio execs with ESPN and Netflix and Prime and act like I'm Stephen A. I'm not.
Are you confident you can get there, though?
Duh.
Shedeur is too. That's been my whole point. I don't have a problem with having confidence. We talk about how much confidence means with these athletes. I don't have a problem with them having confidence. No one in their right mind. And I'm sorry to use Shady's example. No one in their right mind would have looked at Reggie Bush as a prospect and looked at LaShawn McCoy and said, hey, at the time where they were getting drafted, Shady's gonna have a way way better career than Reggie Bush. And he did. And he was way more confident.
No, but I think that Reggie Bush and me is different because we seen how everything played out. You know what I mean? So that's a different conversation. I love Reggie was like one of my idols in college. Yeah. So
I mean, more so
the difference with the Cam Newton thing is like we all thought Cam was generational. And to your answer, people knew who Cam Newton was.
No, I knew who Cam Newton was.
He's a top player in the country. Okay, my thing is Shedeur was a top tier quarterback coming out of college.
Yeah.
Everybody, their mama, every smart person on TV was like, yo, he's going to be 1 or 2 quarterback. That's my thing. Let's stay there. Yeah. I don't want to compare him and Cam. Let's not do that. Let's just say when his time was to be in college, he was supposed to be a top tier quarterback. We all said that.
Yeah.
Now out of nowhere, we take guys from Oregon.
Yeah.
Like we weren't even talking about them dudes. And so my point is, you can't tell me the NFL didn't affect that. They had to. We weren't even talking about them guys.
I agree.
Nobody. The kid from the Saints that got drafted.
Yeah, Tyler Shot.
The kid from I don't even want to say these guys' names. Yeah. The kids from Oregon that got drafted. I'm thinking the teams. Nobody talked about them, Acho. You didn't. I didn't. You love college. Nobody talked about them. But we all talked about Shedeur. And we all kept saying how he was going to get drafted.
Yep.
And then you get to the draft, right? You got your meetings and all this and all that and the preparation for it. And then we get there, and now y'all don't want to draft him, and you tell me the NFL had nothing to do with that?
They did.
They had a lot to do with that.
Stop.
And the last thing I'm saying is, I'm telling you right now, if he wasn't a black quarterback that came in with that swagger to act like he didn't need the NFL, his dad is who his dad was, this won't be no conversation.
I agree, but let me respond.
And y'all know that.
I agree. Let me respond. I'm not saying the NFL had nothing to do with it. They obviously did. They had to draft. What I'm saying is this. Shedeur had a role to play too.
This is the email.
I hate when you get into an argument with somebody, Care Bear. I hate it, Social Trade. I hate it, 2-5. I hate it on YouTube. And the other person doesn't admit they could have been better. All I am saying is this. NFL played a part. Shedeur played a part. Everybody acknowledge both parts that were played. That's all I'm asking.
And what's Shedeur's part, so I'm clear?
The part is this. Shedeur could have carried himself differently going into it. At the NFL Combine, he could have thrown. He could have thrown at the Combine for one. It's the biggest job interview.
So what happens when top prospects go to the Combine and they don't run? They fast, they don't run.
Didn't they run a 40?
I'm asking you.
Yep.
Let me show you again. And the comp, because you're saying Shedeur should have threw.
He could have.
Right.
He could have.
But most top prospects coming in the draft, super hyped up. Some of them don't run, right?
True.
We've seen it before.
Yep.
So, real quick, this is how I know the NFL has something to do with it. So, over the years, we've seen top prospects coming in, they don't run because they're so high. They think they go high in the draft, like we all got them, and they don't run. We're okay with that. So, Shedeur does it because he's high in the draft. He's supposed to go far, and he don't throw. Now, it's a problem with it. You get what I'm saying?
I hear you.
The NFL wanted to stick it to him. I'm going to stick to the Sanders family, and I'm not going to let him just do what he want to do. That's the truth. The truth. Look. He got Nike signs and all. Like, come on, man. They don't like all that.
They told me bust down my AP.
That's
perfect
sad,
timing.
bro.
That's what they used to say, man.
But you know what, though, real quick, before we move on, we in 2025, and we still dealing with stuff like this. If you good, draft him. If he's not, don't draft him. But don't play this game because the way he acts.
Yeah.
Come on, yo.
How you act is a part of your job description.
If he wasn't a black kid and his last name wasn't Sanders, we will not be talking about this.
It's more nuanced than that.
He's been drafted
It's
high.
more nuanced than that.
And you know
the number one overall pick was black.
And you know this.
And I hate that I got to do this. Like, why are you making me, Shady, bring up the obvious points so that people can come at me and be like, Acho, you hate black people. This is dumb. The number one overall pick was black. So it's not that Shedeur was black. So now, if you want to say his last name, okay.
It's all good. I said his last name and the way he acted. My man don't act like him. Can't we don't act him. I know swag.
But then don't say it's because he's black. Because then you're going to get a whole bunch of people saying, yeah, Shady, it's because he's black.
Hold up. So if he wasn't black, you don't think it would have went a little differently?
I think
I'm asking you, if he wasn't black, do you think it would have went differently?
I think if he wasn't black, I don't think he would have acted like this. You feel me? Because the culturally. Like, culturally, that's how Shedeur. You feel me?
This is crazy.
It's a new. But for real, though.
Yo.
Like, what white people don't. What white person, carries himself like Shedeur? No, I'm just being honest. I'm not even talking
Joe
about.
Burrow probably the closest.
Who?
Joe Burrow probably the closest.
Yeah, and even then.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, though.
The chat's saying a lot of Jackson Dart right
Jackson
now.
Dart got some swag to him, though.
Jackson
But
Dart,
see,
Jackson
but
Dart.
even that, the chat is saying like, yeah, when Jackson Dart does it, it's called swagger.
Yeah,
it's called he's hype.
Come on.
But when Shedeur does it, he's cocky.
Come
he's
on,
arrogant.
come on.
He's, you know what I mean?
And,
So,
and another thing is, Baker Mayfield's a little different. But the way that Baker used to act, when he got drafted, he said, "Oh, he's gutsy, he's gritty." I'm like, wait, what is that?
But Baker Mayfield was a Heisman winner. Shady, you gotta hear me. If Shedeur won a Heisman,
I'm cool. Yo, listen. All I'm saying is, open your eyes up. It's three people here trying to tell you the same thing. You just don't want to. You ain't open your eyes.
No. For the record, him being black played a part.
Big part.
I'm saying
Big
him being
part.
black didn't play the only part because the number one overall pick was black.
I see a great comment right here.
The logic completely shatters.
I see a great comment right here. Johnny Manziel got taken in the first round with less physical tools.
Oh, I forgot about him.
It was more of a problem off the field than rambunctious. I'm talking. He was getting. It was the payments. It was the drinking.
Are you telling me in college that Shedeur was viewed as high as Heisman winner Johnny Manziel? Stop.
Yeah, you can't do that.
But the
Johnny
way-
Manziel
you
went to Tuscaloosa and won.
But
Stop.
the way- but the
you
way-
know too much to say that.
That's
the
awesome,
way
but
he acted-
as a pro prospect,
the
was he
way he
viewed
acted-
as a more elite pro prospect than Shedeur Sanders?
I mean, he's
No, he was not. He had a weak
No.
arm. He had Mike Evans on his team.
Wait,
Cliff
wait,
Kingsbury calling plays.
Wait,
Oh my
hold on.
God.
You ain't think hold up. You ain't think he's gonna be like a great NFL
my
player?
God.
No,
He a
but-
little.
but in
hold up. What about his attitude, how he acted? We're not talking about the way he played, right? We talking about
Johnny Manziel was cocky as hell.
Johnny
Cocky
Manziel
as
was
hell.
an amazing
Swag
college
as
football
hell.
player.
I love them. Like,
Same way Tim Tebow was an amazing college football player. They didn't have the pro
But here's what
prospects
I'm
that Shedeur
saying.
Sanders did.
Yes, they did. You're forgetting. Yes, they
What?
absolutely did.
Which one?
If Shedeur Sanders won the Heisman, I don't think we would be having this conversation.
I mean, Heisman's cool and all
you know
that.
what I mean? Like, if Shedeur Sanders went to Alabama and beat them when they were at their pinnacle, I don't think we would be having this conversation. He beat Colorado State. Praise God. Beat TCU. Hallelujah.
Did Shedeur Sanders have Cliff Kingsbury calling his plays with multiple NFL
talking
drafted
about
offensive
where-
linemen
where-
and Mike Evans to
But
throw
where
the
we go- where we
football
going with
too?
this?
Yeah, Travis
I'm
Hunter,
just
by
saying,
the
like,
way.
where
He did. Yeah,
we
Travis.
going with it?
Where I'm going-
All I'm saying is they both were supposed to be top tier quarterbacks. That's all I'm talking. That's all that matters right there. That's all that matters. I don't want to talk about nothing else because the
gosh.
Heisman don't really matter. There's a lot of guys that got Heismans and don't be that good at all.
Yeah.
I've watched a lot of them. A lot of them don't be like that. Okay, so we talking about this being a top tier quarterback. Johnny was, and so was Shedeur. Supposed to be.
Yeah.
Johnny.
Tebow.
All the black community like Johnny the way his swag was.
Johnny was crazy.
But guess what?
Johnny was
But guess
crazy.
what? They didn't hold that against him. Because you know why? Because he wasn't black.
That's fair. I won't disagree with that.
You can't.
I won't. And I'm not
But
trying to.
Shedeur.
I'm not trying
But
to.
Shedeur.
But here's
because he is black. And
Can I ask Shady a question?
Go. But hold on. So
Yeah. No, go ahead.
my bad.
No,
So I'm upset. I'm upset.
you the
I'm
big
upset.
dog.
Hold on.
No,
You my dog, though. I'm
course,
upset.
yeah. We good.
Here's why I get so upset. I really watch college football.
Yeah.
Like, really, like, Acho, you stuck in the league, fine. I was All-American in Texas, third-team AP. College football really my thing. So many people will ignorantly jump in conversations and say, well, Shedeur was as good as Manziel. Shedeur was as good as Baker. No, he wasn't.
No.
He wasn't. If he was, I don't think his draft stock would have been impacted like this. If Colin Kaepernick was as good as Aaron Rodgers, he could have taken 2 knees. He could have started peeing during the national anthem on the American flag, and he still would have been starting. Because in the NFL, if you are supremely talented, they will turn a blind eye to everything. From domestic violence to drunk driving to they will turn a blind eye
Manslaughter.
to everything
Anything, yeah.
if you're talented in the NFL. To taking a knee don't mean nothing if you're talented. And don't tell me, well, Colin Kaepernick had 16 touchdowns and 4 interceptions, Acho. He wasn't good under that system. I know Chip Kelly. I know that system. He wasn't good in it. So I'm not saying, Shady, that race didn't play a factor. I'm not saying his last name didn't play a factor. I'm saying that scouts believed that he wasn't as talented as his off-the-field attention. That's the only thing I'm saying.
My thing is,
That's the only thing I'm saying.
I think that's fair. I think it's Shady. You said if Shedeur was white, it would have gone differently.
come on, man.
And the point.
Well,
and-
I just said if he wasn't black.
If he wasn't black.
Yeah.
If he wasn't black, it would have gone different. If Shedeur was a generational talent, it also would have gone differently. And I think that's just kind of the through line. That's the through line.
That's fair to say.
His
I
on the
saying
field play and his potential didn't warrant
Trey,
all of what potentially came with.
I can agree with
I
that.
also wasn't saying Johnny Manziel and him were the same caliber player in college. Tim Tebow is one of the greatest college players ever, but as a pro prospect, he wasn't looked at as great as a Shedeur was as a pro prospect. The same way Josh Allen in college had a 57% completion percentage at Wyoming. He stunk. He wasn't special, but he still got taken top 10. Because why? He had pro prospect attributes. We draft off of attributes in the NFL draft, and that was my problem. You have guys that were loud, rambunctious, all of these other stuff, and they weren't viewed as pro prospects. They weren't viewed as highly as pro prospects as Shedeur was.
I think y'all going too hard on this like how good you was thing, right? It's all about your time. Like Cam Newton they thought he was going to generational, he wasn't. But for his time, he was really, really good going to the draft. Johnny Manziel, I didn't think he was going to be no great prospect in the NFL. He's tiny, he's little arms. But at his time, he was the top quarterback. And God, Tim Tebow, he's doing a lot of good things outside of football, so I won't say anything bad about him. But at his time, he was good. You know what I'm saying? So I'm talking about going into the league.
Yeah.
Going to the league, these guys were top tier quarterbacks. Let's stay there. You get what I'm saying? It don't matter how generation you are. It matters, when I was supposed to go to the draft, I was a top tier quarterback. And Shedeur was that. The reason why he didn't get we supposed to get is because the way he acted and all that. I just don't like that part. And until we agree on that, I'm never going to agree with y'all.
Hey,
the NFL made sure they put ain't Wusan nothing. They put in the email, yo. We need to teach this young black brother a lesson.
Shady, don't do that.
That's the truth. That's the truth. I know too many GMs. I know too many owners. I know too many coaches.
You know for a fact, Brett Veach and Howie Roseman didn't send out an email saying we shouldn't draft Shedeur Sanders.
No.
You know that for a fact.
No. The teams that needed quarterbacks, them guys don't count. They don't care. If we get Shedeur, we don't care. We got Jalen Hurts. We won Super Bowls. They got Patrick Mahomes. Duh. We don't care about Shedeur. But the teams like the Saints, teams like who else? The
Giants.
All the weak teams, man. Yeah. Them dudes, them guys. Yeah. Shedeur wasn't even some guys' radar because we don't need a quarterback. The ones that need a quarterback. Now, how y'all's terrible at quarterback? Now, real quick, look at the Saints at quarterback right now. It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
And you tell me Shedeur can't play for them? Look at the Browns. Joe Flacco is terrible. He's god-awful. And you telling me they can't use a quarterback? Y'all boys is tripping. Y'all boys tripping, man.
It's not that
can't fool me.
We got Pat Surtain, Defensive Player of the Year, walking to his car, joining the show momentarily. Pat Surtain, Defensive Player of the Year, exclusively joining the Speakeasy, following the Broncos win. All-Pro cornerback, joining us momentarily. Last thought, Social Trade.
No. Go ahead. Yeah,
before we last thought, can I just get a vote real quick? Yo, from 1 to 10, 10 being the greatest and 1 being awful. And ask the chat this: how bad is Joe Flacco so far?
Oh, man.
Well, it's funny you say that because we actually just got a super chat from Shaq with no breaks. He said he isn't more talented than Joe Flacco for the Cleveland Browns. Context, the Browns, it's disrespectful at this point.
Is or is not?
He said he isn't more talented, but I think he was being facetious. Like, he was saying, like, come on now. Like,
he's more talented than Joe Flacco?
Like, yeah, like, he's not more talented.
Funny. Okay,
I asked the poll.
Here's my thing, though. Here's the only thing I want to say is, what do we not know? Like, why do we act like we know everything? Here's what as cocky as Acho is, as ignorant as Acho is, I know enough to say, maybe because I'm not in the Cleveland Browns building, 76 Lou Groza Boulevard, I remember it because that was the address I used to walk to every day when they drafted me. Maybe something is going on within those walls that is keeping Shedeur behind Gabriel and behind Flacco. I do not know what it is. Maybe Kevin Stefanski's racist. Maybe that's it. Maybe he hates black people. Maybe the black general manager is racist, Andrew Berry. Maybe that's it. Or maybe there's just something we don't know. I don't know. Myles Garrett's the highest paid defensive player in football, so I mean, maybe. Or maybe there's just something we don't know. I'm not going to say that maybe Stefanski isn't racist. Like, I'll leave that up for a possibility. Fine. But is there just a world where there's just something we don't know? Like, can that be possible? I just don't want to. I don't want to rile up everybody into thinking an email was sent. Rile up everybody into thinking the NFL just hates all black people. Rile up. I just don't. What's that accomplish?
I agree. It's might not be the most productive conversation.
Heated. Yeah, Shady, you got me.
So what's your number, Shady? 1 to 10. How bad is Joe Flacco?
I think he's below 1.
Below 1?
We did have a couple zeros dropped in the chat already. Yeah, no.
Jeez, Acho 1 to 10.
We had a -2, -3.
2, 1.5. He's terrible.
Yeah,
I'm going with a 1, man.
Yeah,
he's cooked. He's super washed.
You think if he was black, he'd be playing still? You think he'd be still out there playing?
I doubt it.
Oh no,
Yeah.
Oh, so it matters now. Oh, so
Shady, being black always matters at quarterback. I've said that. But to say that the reason Shedeur didn't get drafted early was because he's black when Cam Ward won number 1, the logic it completely lacks logic.
It completely lacks That's logic. Not true. You cannot black. His last name and the way he carries himself, all goes in one. All goes in one. A lot of black quarterbacks you see, like for example, Lamar Jackson sticks out more than any other black quarterbacks in the league, right?
Yeah, of course.
I ain't seen a quarterback like him before.
So that matters though. Does that matter? The way he talks, the way he presents himself, that all matters. Because some might think it was negative, but to me, it's not. It's positive. The way I love the way he is. He's authentic. So when I break it down about the black thing, it does matter. I know you joke about it, but it does matter.
No, it does matter.
It matters.
Let me ask you this. Last thought, because this I'm gonna try to press my dog real quick. How you navigated your path into the NFL worked out for you. You said that if you was Reggie Bush, you would have been more flamboyant, but you weren't. And it worked out for you. Highest paid running back in 2015, 2016 Buffalo Bills. 6th highest paid running back in the history of football. Y'all know how special that is. 15,000 yards, probably going to go into the Hall of Fame, already in the Eagles Hall of Fame. It worked out for you. So are you trying to tell me you would have done it differently? For what? To say you did? Are you trying to tell me like you would have carried yourself more rambunctious or more overzealous and maybe been drafted lower for what? To brag to your homeboys? For what? To say, oh yeah, but I went in there like myself. For what? Or are you going to retire with $63 million, make sure your kids taken care of, your mom taken care of, your whole hood taken care of? You're building houses in Harrisburg. You're literally changing the trajectory of your hometown, maybe in part because of what you did. All I'm saying is, Shady, you did it right. Why are we acting like Shedeur 2 did it right? Like that's all I'm trying to get at.
All right. We got to end the Shedeur conversation at this point. We got to move on. We've been spending all day talking about it. It got heavy. That was
because
it's
a
that serious.
You know
It's
why?
a very polarizing conversation.
It's bad
I'm aware,
because you got a young black kid, bro, that his dream was to be in the NFL, and y'all taking that from him because the way he acts, and all he's doing is being himself. That's the hurtful part about it.
Yeah,